Today we're going to take a look at a new accessory, and before we do that, I want to talk about why iPhones stop charging. If you're an iPhone user, this is something you really should know about. There are the obvious answers like an old battery that's not good anymore, a defective or blocked charging port, which we have some videos for you can check out on the channel as far as how to clean them out and replace them if necessary. But a much more common reason that iPhones stop charging, especially for the 5 and 6 series, is because of cheap chargers. So Apple has developed a technology that basically detects whether or not you're using an MFI cable. And if you're not familiar with that term, MFI signifies an industry standard for made for iPhone. So what I'm getting at is that if you go to the corner gas station and buy a cable to charge your iPhone for $4.99, you are probably not going to get an MFI cable. And what eventually happens is there's a mechanism on the inside of your phone. It's loosely termed the U2IC. It varies on the actual designation. It can be a 1608 or 1610A2 or something along those lines. Not really important for you, the user, but what is important to know is that that component will fail if you are using a non-certified Apple cable. Now, the problem with OEM cables, unfortunately, is one, they don't tend to last very long, and it's almost as if Apple wants you to buy another charger very soon after you get your phone. A 3-foot cable really isn't going to suffice for a lot of users, especially if you use your phone constantly. The other thing is that there's wear and tear caused by things like a phone charging on a nightstand. It falls off, it's still plugged into the wall, but it doesn't have enough slack to make it all the way there. So again, it places stress on these two places in the cable where it's vulnerable to damage because there are wires inside that you can't see, and every time the cable gets stressed, it breaks those wires down a little bit more, and eventually they don't make contact. The other thing about lightning cables is that they sometimes work for a while, and then eventually you find out that you have to flip it a certain way. It's almost like a USB cable. You can only plug it in one way and get it to charge. So you'll end up with something like this where it's, you see I have a little X here. That means do not charge this way, charge this way, because that's the only way that works anymore before I eventually toss it and replace it for something else. So today we're going to take a look at the Kakoi, I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly, MFI lightning cable. Let's check it out. All right, so let's see what's in the box. We have, as stated, made for iPhone, iPad, iPod. And on the back it says everything pretty much up to the 6 Plus and 6 feet, so plenty of cable here. Go ahead and open this up. And thank you. All right. Okay, so you can buy this on Amazon, obviously. They have some barcodes here to scan. I will provide a link down in the bottom there for the Amazon page where you can find this, and pretty basic, very straightforward, not a lot to it, just a cable in a box. A lot of noise. However, we are going to have tons of cable to work with, which is great if you don't want to sit right next to the wall and use your phone while it's charging. So you can see this thing is also got the braided type of cable, so this is a much stronger cable. It's relatively stiff. It's definitely less flexible than the iPhone OEM lightning cable, but that is not necessarily a bad thing. And you can really feel here that it's got a solid attachment, which is what's really important, because when you put stress on this area down here, that's when you start having problems with the wiring. So of course you always want to grab this to disconnect it and plug it back in, but a lot of times people will grab the cord down here, and that's another way that these things wear out really fast. So quality looks really good. This is kind of an aluminum or metallic sort of alloy. I'm not sure exactly what that's made out of, but I will plug it into the phone and see how it works. So this phone is currently at 41%. Let's plug it in and see what happens. And from 41 to 43%, it took about a little more than 2 minutes. So as you can see, for the phones that this is actually designed for, which is the iPhone 6 and below, it is pretty rapid as far as charging goes. One other thing I didn't notice is that if you go to Amazon and leave feedback, it says that there is a big surprise waiting for you. I do not know what that surprise is, but I am curious to find out. So if any of you leave a review for this cable and get something extra in the way of a big surprise, let me know what that surprise is. If you found the video helpful, like it, share it, check out my channel for more tutorials and product reviews, and most of all, remember to hit the subscribe button. Feel free to leave your feedback in the comments section, and thanks for watching.